I'm Claire, and my apartment is my sanctuary. Every object has its place. Every sound is either chosen or absent. It's the only place on earth where my mind can finally stop running. My desk faces a floor to ceiling window, Seattle's gray skyline smudged with mist beyond the glass. The light pours in, soft and diffused, like it's been filtered through a dream. My monstera plant sits in its ceramic pot, leaves fanning out like a quiet audience. The air smells faintly of eucalyptus from the diffuser humming in the corner. My laptop's open, Adobe Illustrator glowing with a half-finished logo for a coffee shop client. The only sounds are the faint click of my mouse and the lo-fi beats spilling from my headphones. Chill, repetitive, like a heartbeat I can control. This is my world, my rules. No chaos, no surprises. Just me, my work, and the kind of silence that feels like a warm blanket. I lean back in my chair, stretching my arms above my head. My phone's on Do Not Disturb, screen dark because notifications are like tiny punches to the brain. I'm 32, a graphic designer, and I've spent years building this life, this space, where I don't have to perform for anyone. Growing up, I was the quiet kid who'd rather sketch in the corner than deal with family dinners full of loud laughter and louder arguments. I'd hide in my room, drawing, because lines and colors made sense in a way people never did. Now I've got this apartment, this career, this carefully curated bubble. It's not perfect, but it's mine. And it's the only place I feel like I can breathe. I'm tweaking the kerning on the logo when my phone lights up. Not a subtle glow, a full-on flash, like it's screaming for attention. I flinch, my focus shattered. It's not supposed to do that. I set it to silent for a reason. I grab it, annoyed, and see the notification, a group chat called Family BBQ Crew. My stomach does a little flip, not the good kind. It's a text from Sarah, my husband Mike's cousin, with a string of emojis, fire, burger, American flag. Memorial Day BBQ time! Who's bringing what? Let's make it epic! I stare at the words, my thumb hovering over the screen. The lo-fi music in my ears suddenly feels too loud, too fake. This isn't an invitation. It feels like a subpoena, a legal summons to appear and perform the role of the happy, well-adjusted daughter-in-law, a role I was hopelessly miscast for. I set the phone down like it's radioactive and push my chair back, pacing to the window. The city hums below, all wet pavement and brake lights. I press my forehead against the cool glass, trying to slow my breathing. My heart's doing that thing where it feels like it's tripping over itself. I'm already dreading the BBQ, a whole day of small talk, forced smiles, and dodging questions about when Mike and I are finally having kids. It's not just a party, it's a performance, and I'm terrible on stage. Mike's family isn't like mine. My parents were distant, sure, but predictable. Dinner at 6 p.m., taxes done by March, emotions kept in a tidy box. Mike's family is messy, loud. They're from a small Rust Belt town, the kind of place where factories closed before Mike was born, leaving everyone scrambling. Family isn't just important to them, it's everything. They're a pack, a tribe, forged in hard times. And this BBQ, it's their Super Bowl. A full day of grilling, drinking, and reminiscing about the good old days that, from what Mike's told me, weren't all that good. I picture it. Sarah's laugh, sharp as a firecracker, Jake's chain smoking by the cooler, and Mike right in the middle playing peacemaker like always. I walk back to my desk, but the logo on my screen looks wrong now, like it's mocking me. I close my laptop, the click louder than it should be. My sanctuary's still here. The plants, the eucalyptus, the soft light. But it feels fragile, like one wrong move could crack it open. I pick up my phone again, rereading Sarah's text. There's a second message now. Claire, you in for potato salad? My jaw tightens. I haven't even replied, and she's already assigning me a dish. It's not about the potato salad. It's about the assumption, the expectation that I'll show up, smile, and I'd play my part in their chaotic, overwhelming world. I love Mike. I do. He's steady, kind, with eyes that crinkle when he laughs, but his family? They're a package deal, and sometimes I feel like I signed a contract I didn't read. I set the phone face down and sink onto my couch, the linen fabric cool against my skin. My mind's already racing, scripting the day. what I'll say when Sarah asks about my job, how I'll dodge Jake's political rants, how I'll keep my face from betraying the fact that I'd rather be anywhere else. I glance at the monstera, its leaves still and perfect. You don't have to deal with this crap, I mutter, half laughing, half miserable. The BBQ's a week away, but it's already here, invading my space, my peace. I close my eyes, trying to summon the calm I felt an hour ago. But all I can think about is Mike and how he'll look at me when I tell him I don't want to go. His face will fall just a little and he'll say, "They're my family, Claire." Like that explains everything. Like it's that simple. And I'll feel like the bad guy, the cold one, the outsider who doesn't get it. I open my eyes, staring at the ceiling. My sanctuary's still here, but it's not enough. Not when the subpoena's already been served. I'm Claire, and I'm still staring at that damn family BBQ crew text, my phone like a ticking bomb on my desk. The lo-fi beats are still playing, but they're not soothing anymore. They're just noise. I shove my headphones off and rub my temples, trying to push away the headache creeping in. It's not just the BBQ. It's what it represents. Mike's family isn't just a group of people I have to smile through once a year. They're a living, breathing part of him. A past that's not just history. It's a chain. And I'm starting to feel the weight of it pulling on me, too. Mike doesn't talk about his childhood much, but when he does, it's in fragments, like he's handing me broken glass. He grew up in a nowhere town in Ohio, the kind of place where the steel mill shut down before he was born, and hope went with it. His parents were gone by the time he was 10. Car accident, no details, just a shrug when I ask. He and his cousins, Jake and Sarah, were raised by their grandma in a house that was more duct tape than drywall. Raised as generous, they survived. Jake, the oldest, was the muscle, fending off bullies and stealing food when the fridge was empty. Sarah was the caretaker, patching up cuts and making sure they had clean clothes for school. Mike? He was the glue, the one who kept the peace, who made sure the fights didn't burn the house down. They weren't just family, they were a unit, a pack, forged in a war against a world that didn't give a damn about them. He doesn't owe them a debt of gratitude. He shares a scar with them. They're not just family. They're the only other members of a secret club of survivors. And I am not, and can never be, a member. I grew up in a suburb outside Seattle, with a mom who packed my lunches and a dad who coached my soccer team. We weren't rich, but we were fine. My biggest problem was dodging my mom's questions about my report card. Mike's biggest problem was making sure there was food on the table. I can't imagine that. I try, but it's like trying to picture a color you've never seen. And that gap between us? It's not just a difference. It's a wall. I walk to the kitchen, grab a LaCroix from the fridge, and crack it open. The fizz is loud in the quiet apartment. I lean against the counter, staring at the Monstera plant like it's got answers. Mike's loyalty to Jake and Sarah isn't about love, not exactly. It's about survival. They made a pact, unspoken but ironclad, to always have each other's backs. And now, years later, that pact is bleeding into our life, our marriage, our bank account. It's not just stories from the past. It's wounds that keep reopening, and I'm the one getting cut. Take Jake. He's 38, a big guy with a laugh that fills a room and a rap sheet that follows him like a shadow. He's been in and out of rehab for years. Heroin, pills, whatever he can get. Last summer, he relapsed. Hard. Ended up in the ER, tubes in his arms, monitors beeping. Mike got the call at 2 a.m. and was out the door before I could even process it. He drove 5 hours to that same nowhere town, no hesitation. When he came back, he was quiet, his eyes hollow. I thought that was the worst of it until I checked our savings account. $3,000 gone. Money we'd been saving for a down payment on a house, wired to cover Jake's hospital bills because his insurance wouldn't touch it. I stood in front of my laptop, staring at the bank statement, my hands shaking. $3,000. We'd spent months cutting back. Fewer takeout orders, no weekend trips, just to build that cushion. And Mike didn't even ask me. He just did it. When I brought it up, he looked at me like I was speaking another language. He's family, Claire. What was I supposed to do? Let him die? I didn't have an answer. I still don't. But I felt like I was married not just to Mike, but to Jake's addiction. Our future was being used to pay for the damages of his past. I wanted to scream, to shake Mike, and ask why we were the ones bleeding for this. But I didn't. I just nodded, closed the laptop, and went to bed, my stomach churning. Then there's Sarah. She's 35, all heart and no plan, always chasing a new dream. Cosmetology school, Etsy shop, some MLM scheme selling leggings. She's been unemployed more than employed, and somehow, Mike's always there to pick up the pieces. 2 years ago, he co-signed a loan for her to buy a used Kia. I didn't even know until the bank started calling. Sarah missed payments, 3, then 4. Now our credit score, mine and Mike's, is tanking. Every time the phone rings with an unknown number, my heart rate spikes. Last month, I saw the damage. Our score dropped 80 points. That's not just a number. That's higher interest rates, harder loans, a future we're trying to build slipping further away. I confronted Mike about it, my voice sharper than I meant. Why didn't you tell me? He sighed, rubbing the back of his neck. She needed help, Claire. I didn't think it'd blow up like this. I wanted to grab him by the shoulders and yell that his loyalty was a liability, that Sarah's chaos was now our chaos. My name was legally tied to her mess, and he acted like it was just a favor. I felt betrayed, not by some big betrayal like cheating, but by 1,000 small cuts, every time he chose them over us, over me. I walked away from that fight, my hands clenched so tight my nails left marks in my palms. I take a sip of the La Croix. The grapefruit tastes sharp on my tongue. The apartment's still quiet, but it doesn't feel like a sanctuary anymore. It feels like a stage, and I'm waiting for the next act of this drama to crash in. Mike's not here. He's at work, probably joking with his coworkers like everything's fine. But I can picture him at that BBQ, right in the middle of Jake and Sarah, laughing, reminiscing, like they're still kids in that falling apart house. He'll expect me to be there too, smiling, passing the potato salad, acting like I belong. But I don't. I never will. I set the can down, harder than I mean to, and it clinks against the counter. The truth is, I'm not just scared of the BBQ. I'm scared of what it means for us. Mike's past isn't just a story he tells, it's a living thing, a weight he carries. And now I'm carrying it too. Every dollar we lose, every point our credit drops, feels like a piece of our future being chipped away. And the worst part? I don't know how to talk to him about it without sounding like the bad guy. Without sounding like the cold, selfish wife who doesn't get it. I glance at my phone, the group chat still glowing with Sarah's emojis. The BBQ's a week away, but the real fight's already started. And I'm not sure I know how to win it. I'm Claire, and I'm standing in my kitchen, staring at a letter from the bank that feels like a punch to the gut. It's not just a letter, it's a demand, a final notice about Sarah's car loan, the one Mike co-signed without telling me. The words delinquent payments and credit impact burn into my brain. My hands are shaking as I set it down on the counter, next to the half-empty La Croix can from earlier. The apartment's quiet, too quiet, the kind of silence that amplifies every thought screaming in my head. Mike's not home yet. He's still at work, probably joking with his buddies over a beer after his shift. And here I am, holding proof that his family's chaos is sinking us, dollar by dollar, point by point. I pace to the living room, the Seattle skyline gray and heavy outside my window. My monstera plant sits there, smug in its perfection, like it's mocking me. I want to call Mike, to scream, to demand why he keeps letting this happen. But I know how it'll go. He'll get quiet, his jaw tight, and say something about family, about loyalty. Like it's a magic word that makes everything okay. I sink onto the couch, the linen cool against my skin, and try to breathe. My sanctuary's crumbling, and I can't stop it. The BBQ's 6 days away, but it's not just a party anymore. It's a symbol of everything I'm losing. Control, peace, the future I thought we were building. When Mike gets home, I'm still on the couch, the letter in my lap like a loaded gun. He drops his keys on the counter, the clink loud in the silence. "Hey," he says, his voice easy like it's just another Tuesday. He's in his work jeans, a flannel shirt rolled up to his elbows, his hair a little messy from the day. He looks like the guy I fell in love with, the one who made me laugh over cheap tacos on our first date. But right now, all I see is the guy who's dragging me into a mess I didn't sign up for. Mike, we need to talk, I say, my voice sharper than I mean. I hold up the letter, my hand steady even though my heart's pounding. This came today, Sarah's loan. They're coming after us now. He freezes, his easy smile gone. He walks over, takes the letter, and scans it, his face unreadable. I'll handle it, he says, like it's that simple. Like a phone call's going to fix the 80-point hit to our credit score. Handle it? I stand up, my voice rising. Mike, this isn't just about Sarah missing payments. This is our credit, our future. You co-signed that loan without even talking to me, and now we're the ones paying for it. He sets the letter down, slow, deliberate. She needed help, Claire. I didn't think it'd get this bad. His voice is calm, but there's an edge to it, like he's holding something back. Didn't think? I laugh, but it's bitter, jagged. You didn't think when you gave Jake our savings for his hospital bills either. $3,000, Mike. Gone. And now this? How many times are we going to bleed for your family? His eyes narrow, and I see the shift, the moment he goes from calm to defensive. You don't get it, do you? He says, his voice low and tense. You grew up with a white picket fence, Claire, parents who paid for your art classes, a college fund, the whole deal. Me? We had to fight for every scrap. Jake, Sarah, me. We survived together. That's what family does. They show up, no matter what. I flinch, his words hitting like a slap. White picket fence? My childhood wasn't perfect, but he's right. It was safe. Predictable. I never had to steal food or sleep in a house with no heat. But that doesn't mean I'm the bad guy here. This isn't about your past, Mike, I say, my voice shaking. This is about our present, our future. You're not just helping them. You're letting their chaos ruin us. He steps closer, his hands clenched. Ruin us? You think I'm trying to ruin us? I'm doing what I have to do. You want me to just cut them off? Let Jake die in a ditch? Let Sarah lose everything? That's not who I am, Claire. His voice cracks, and then he says it, the words that cut deeper than anything else. Why are you always so cold, so transactional? It's family. Cold. Transactional. The words hang in the air, heavy, like smoke I can't wave away. They hit every insecurity I've ever had. Every time I've felt like I'm too closed off, too analytical, too broken to connect the way other people do. I'm not cold. I'm not. I'm just trying to survive too, but in my own way. I open my mouth to say something, anything, but nothing comes out. My throat's tight, my eyes burning. I turn away, staring at the window, the city lights blurring through tears I refuse to let fall. Mike sighs, heavy, and I hear him walk to the kitchen, the fridge door opening, a beer cap popping. The silence stretches, thick and suffocating. I sit back down, the letter crumpled in my hand. Cold. Transactional. Is that what he thinks of me? Is that what I am? I think about my life, my apartment, my carefully curated sanctuary. Maybe he's right. Maybe I am too rigid, too focused on control. But then I look at the letter, at the numbers staring back at me. $4,200 owed, 80 points gone. This isn't about me being cold. This is about boundaries, or the complete lack of them. I'm spiraling, my mind a mess of guilt and anger, when something shifts. It's not a lightning bolt, not some dramatic epiphany. It's quiet, almost clinical, like flipping a switch. I grab my laptop from the coffee table, open it, and pull up our bank account. The numbers don't lie. Our savings, gutted. Our credit score, tanking. I click over to a spreadsheet I made last year, tracking our goals. House down payment, emergency fund, a trip to Japan we've been dreaming about. All of it slipping away. And that's when it hits me. The problem isn't his love for them. The problem is the complete absence of boundaries. He's not just helping Jake and Sarah, he's letting their chaos become our chaos. His past is colonizing our future. I close the laptop, my hands steady now. Mike's still in the kitchen, sipping his beer, staring at the counter like it's got answers. I want to go to him to yell or cry or beg him to see what I see, but I don't. Because yelling won't fix this. Crying won't fix this. I need a plan, a way to draw a line without losing him. Because I love him, God. I love him, but I can't keep living like this. I can't keep paying for a past I didn't live. I stand up, walk to the window, and press my hand against the glass. The city's still there, all wet pavement and flickering lights. My sanctuary's still here too, but it feels like a lie now, a pretty cage I built to keep the world out. But the world's here anyway. Mike's world, his family, his scars. And I'm in it, whether I like it or not. The BBQ's coming, and with it, a choice. Keep fighting a losing battle or find a way to fight smarter. I'm not cold. I'm not transactional. I'm just done being the collateral damage. I turn away from the window, my jaw tight. Mike's still in the kitchen, oblivious to the shift inside me. He thinks this is about money. It's not. It's about us, and I'm not letting us break. Not letting us. I'm Claire, and I'm done being the collateral damage. The fight with Mike last night left me raw, his words, cold, transactional, still stinging like a fresh cut. But something clicked when I saw those numbers on my laptop. Our future slipping away with every missed payment from Sarah, every emergency bailout for Jake. It's not about love or loyalty. It's about boundaries, and Mike doesn't have any. Not with his family. And if we're going to survive this, us, our marriage, our dreams, I need to draw them myself. I'm sitting at my desk, the Seattle skyline smudged with dawn light outside my window. My monstera plant is still there, leaves calm and unbothered, but my sanctuary feels different now, less like a fortress, more like a war room. My laptop's open, a blank Google Doc staring back at me. I'm not spiraling anymore. I'm focused, the way I get when a client's logo needs a complete overhaul. This isn't about emotions, it's about strategy. I crack my knuckles, take a sip of coffee, and start typing. Step 1. Figure out how to talk to Mike without it turning into another screaming match. Step 2. Set rules we can both live with. Step 3. Make it stick. I'm not naive. Mike's not going to suddenly turn into someone who says no to his cousins. That pact they made as kids, the one forged in that falling apart house in Ohio, is part of his DNA. But I'm his wife. We're supposed to be a team, not a cleanup crew for his family's messes. I lean back in my chair, the coffee mug warm in my hands. My therapist's voice floats into my head. She's this crunchy Seattle type who's always talking about I statements and owning your feelings. I used to roll my eyes at her, but now I'm ready to weaponize that shit. I start practicing, muttering to myself like I'm rehearsing for a pitch meeting. When you use our savings for Jake's emergencies without discussing it, I feel insecure and scared about our ability to build a future together. I pause, grimacing. It sounds like a robot wrote it. I try again, looser. Mike, when you drop everything for Jake or Sarah without talking to me, it makes me feel like our life, our plans, don't matter as much. Like I'm just along for the ride. Better, it's honest, but not accusing. I type it into the doc, my fingers flying. I'm not just venting now, I'm building a playbook. The BBQ's 5 days away, and it's the perfect test run. I'm not skipping it. That'd be too easy, and it'd give Mike's family more ammo to paint me as the stuck-up city girl who thinks she's too good for them. No, we're going, but on my terms. I grab a notepad and start scribbling. Rule 1, we set a time limit, 3 hours max. No getting suckered into staying till midnight while Sarah's drunk singing karaoke and Jake's starting fights over politics. Rule 2, we drive our own car. No carpooling with Mike's uncle who smells like menthols and asks me if I've found Jesus yet. Rule 3, we have an exit strategy. A fake work call, a sudden headache, whatever. We operate as a team, not me trailing behind Mike while he plays family peacemaker. I'm feeling good, almost cocky, when I move to the bigger problem, the money. Jake's hospital bills, Sarah's loan, those aren't one-offs. They're a pattern, and patterns don't break unless you force them to. I admire Mike's heart, I do. The way he shows up for his cousins, no questions asked, is part of why I love him. But we can't be their emergency fund anymore. I tap my pen against the notepad, thinking, what if we set up a separate account, a small one, just for family help? Like $500 a year max. Anything more, and we talk first. No more secret wire transfers or co signing loans behind my back, but that's just a bandage. The real fix is getting Jake and Sarah to stand on their own. I pull up a browser and start searching. Seattle's got resources. Free financial counseling for people like Sarah who can't stop bouncing between bad jobs and worse decisions. For Jake, there's state-funded rehab programs, ones that don't cost $3,000 out of pocket. I bookmark a few links, my mind racing. We're not abandoning them, we're just not carrying them anymore. We'll help them find the tools to fix their own lives instead of using us as a crutch. I lean back, my coffee cold now. This feels doable, like a project I can manage. I'm not trying to change Mike or erase his past. I'm just carving out space for us. I glance at the clock, 7:42 a.m. Mike's still asleep, probably dreaming of that BBQ, of being back in the middle of his cousins, laughing like they're kids again. I'm not going to wake him. Not yet. This conversation needs to happen when we're both calm, not when I'm still buzzing with adrenaline and he's half awake, groggy from last night's beer. I stand up, stretch, and walk to the kitchen to refill my coffee. The apartment's quiet, the eucalyptus diffuser humming faintly. For the first time in days, I feel like I'm in control. Not of Mike, not of his family, but of myself. I'm not the cold, transactional wife he thinks I am. I'm just someone who wants a future we can both live in, not one we're constantly bailing out. I sip my coffee, the bitterness grounding me. The BBQ's going to be a battle, no question. Sarah's going to hug me too tight, Jake's going to make some crude joke, and I'll have to smile through it all. But this time, I've got a plan. 3 hours, our car, and exit strategy. And when we get home, we're talking about that family help account, about those resources for his cousins. No more chaos, no more bleeding. I set the mug down and glance at the monstera, its leaves catching the morning light. We're doing this, I mutter, half to the plant, half to myself. I'm not naive enough to think Mike's going to love this. He might push back, might even get mad. But I'm ready for that. I've got my I statements, my bookmarks, my boundaries. I'm not fighting to win. I'm fighting to build something. A marriage where we're partners, not survivors of his past or mine. The BBQ's coming, and so is the real conversation. I'm not backing down, not this time. I'm Claire, and I'm standing in my living room, the Seattle skyline a blur of lights and rain outside my window. It's been a long day, the kind that feels like it's stretched into years. The BBQ's tomorrow, and my plan, 3 hours, our car, and exit strategy, is locked in. But right now, none of that matters. Mike's on the couch, his phone still in his hand, his face drained from a 40-minute call with Sarah. I can tell it was rough. His shoulders are slumped, his eyes fixed on nothing. I know that look. Another crisis, another fire he's trying to put out. And for the first time in weeks, I'm not pissed. I'm just sad. I lean against the kitchen counter, my coffee mug cold from this morning. My sanctuary's still here. The monstera plant, the eucalyptus diffuser, the lo-fi beats I haven't played all day. But it feels distant, like a photo of a place I used to know. Mike hasn't said a word since he hung up. I want to ask what happened, what Sarah needed this time, but I don't. Not yet. Instead, I watch him, really look at him. His flannel's wrinkled, his hair's a mess, and there's a weight in his posture I've never noticed before. All his life, he's been a survivor, a protector. The kid who kept the peace in that crumbling Ohio house, the man who drops everything for Jake and Sarah. He's never learned how to be just a partner. I set the mug down, the clink soft in the quiet. My plan's solid. Boundaries, resources, a family help account. But it's not enough. Plans are for me, for my need to control the chaos. Mike needs something else. Not a lecture, not a spreadsheet. He needs me to meet him where he is. I take a deep breath, my heart thudding, and walk over to the couch. I don't sit across from him like I usually do, keeping my distance. I sit right next to him, close enough that our knees touch. He glances at me, surprised, but doesn't say anything. Rough call? I ask, my voice soft, not accusing. He nods, rubbing his face with one hand. Yeah, Sarah's a mess. Lost her job again. She's freaking out about the car payments. His voice is tired, like he's carrying her weight and his own. I nod, letting the silence sit for a moment. I could jump in, talk about the bank letter, the credit score, my plan, but I don't. Instead, I reach for his hand, my fingers curling around his. That sounds heavy, I say. You always carry so much for them. He looks at me, his eyes searching mine, like he's waiting for the catch. They're family, Claire, he says, but it's not defensive this time. It's just true. I know, I say, squeezing his hand. And I'd love that about you. But I'm your family too. We're supposed to carry things together, right? He doesn't answer, but his grip tightens, just a little. I take a breath, my heart steady now. I'm not asking you to stop helping them. I just want us to do it in a way that doesn't break us. That doesn't break you. He's quiet, but he's listening. I can feel it. I don't push, don't pull out my Google Doc or my I statements. Instead, I lean my head against his shoulder, the flannel rough against my cheek. We'll figure it out, I say. Together. He built walls around his past to survive it. I built walls around my life to find peace. Maybe the only way forward is not to tear down our walls, but to build a doorway between them. Tonight, I'm the one knocking first.